My child, stop everything you are doing right now and listen. Not because this message appeared in front of you by accident, not because you happened to be scrolling in the right direction at the right moment, and not because coincidence placed these words in your path. I placed this here. I arranged this moment with the same precision I use to arrange every appointed time in your life, and I need you to receive what I am about to say before another hour passes, because what I am speaking into your life today is not comfort offered from a distance. It is a verdict, rendered, sealed, and final. The case that has been building in the courts of heaven, the one that involves your life, your waiting, your suffering, your faithfulness in the dark seasons no one witnessed, has reached its conclusion. And the conclusion is not what the enemy told you it would be. My child, I know what you have been carrying. I know the weight of the silence that has followed your prayers. I know the way unanswered questions accumulate until they begin to feel like evidence against you. I know you have looked at how long you have waited and wondered whether I forgot, whether you missed something, whether the window you thought was yours has quietly closed while you were not watching. I know because I have been watching you carry all of it. Every morning you chose to get up anyway. Every night you brought me a grief too heavy for words. Every season you stayed faithful when walking away would have been so much easier. I saw it, I recorded it, and none of it was wasted. What I am releasing to you today is not simply an encouragement. It is an announcement. Something has shifted in the unseen realm that is about to become visible in your life, and I need you to be prepared to receive it rather than miss it, because you are still looking at how long the wait has been instead of what the wait produced. My child, the door is already open. The verdict has already been rendered. What comes next in your life was written in heaven long before the delay that made you doubt it. Stay with me through every word of this message. What you are about to understand will not simply lift a burden from your shoulders. It will change the way you walk forward from this day. There is something I want you to understand about the nature of this moment before we go any further. Because many of my chosen ones receive a word like this and hold it loosely, as though it might be true, but they cannot afford to fully believe it. They have been disappointed before. They have received encouragement and had hope rise in them only to watch the hope retreat when circumstances did not immediately shift. They carry that experience with them into every subsequent word, and it becomes a kind of protective distance they maintain between themselves and what I am speaking, my child. I understand that distance. I understand why it formed, but I am asking you today to lay it down, not naively, not without the wisdom that experience builds, but intentionally, because what I am speaking over your life in this moment is not the same category of word you received before. This is not encouragement offered while the situation is still unresolved. This is an announcement of what has already been decided, and what has been decided does not require your belief to be real. It only requires your belief to be received. Let me take you back to the silence, because before you can fully receive what I am releasing now, you must understand what the silence actually was. The seasons when you prayed and heard nothing. The months when you believed and saw no movement. The years that passed while others around you seemed to be progressing and you stood still, wondering what you had done wrong, wondering whether your faith was somehow insufficient, wondering whether the problem was you. My child, in those seasons when heaven seemed quiet, I was not absent. I was not distracted. I was not withholding from you out of displeasure or indifference. I was working. There is a kind of work I do that makes no sound. There is a preparation I undertake for my chosen ones that is invisible at the surface, that cannot be detected by observation, that does not produce signs or signals or confirmation during the process. It happens underneath, in the unseen layers of a life, in the character, in the depth of faith, in the capacity of the vessel that will eventually carry what I am preparing to give. Joseph waited in a pit and then in a prison before I positioned him in the palace. And during those years of confinement, no angel descended to announce the timeline. No vision arrived to confirm the promise was still intact. He endured the silence. And in that silence, I was building something in him that could not have been built any other way. The kind of wisdom, the kind of integrity, the kind of unshakable trust in my sovereignty that made him capable of carrying the weight of what was coming without being destroyed by it. What I was building in you during the silence was not something that could be observed from the outside. It was happening at the level of the soul, in the places where character is formed and faith becomes unshakable rather than conditional. I was building a capacity for trust that does not require visible evidence to remain intact. I was building a depth of compassion that only comes from having endured what most people avoid. I was building the specific quality of wisdom that cannot be taught in easy seasons, the kind that knows the difference between what is truly from me and what merely sounds like me, the kind that will protect you in the next season from the counterfeits that always arrive alongside the real thing. None of that work makes noise while it is happening. All of it becomes visible when the season changes. And my child, the season is changing. Think of what I was producing in Joseph during the pit and the prison. Not simply patience, not simply endurance, a specific kind of governance, a specific quality of administrative wisdom, a specific freedom from bitterness toward those who harmed him, all of which were essential for the role that was waiting. Had he arrived at the palace carrying resentment, he would have misused the authority I was giving him. Had he arrived without the wisdom that the prison produced, he would have administered the years of abundance carelessly, and the years of famine would have destroyed what he was sent to preserve. The silence in your life has been producing something with equal precision, something that the next chapter of your life specifically requires. You will see what it was the moment you begin walking in what is opening. My child, what looked like abandonment in your story was architecture. Every day I was silent was a day I was layering something into you that could not be rushed. The former things have passed away, as it is written in Isaiah 43:18 through 19, Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. The new thing I was doing could not be announced until the former things had fully passed. That is why the silence held. Not because I had turned away from you, but because I was completing the unseen work that the visible promise required. And now it is complete. The preparation I have been doing in you quietly without announcement, over the months and years that felt like loss, has reached the point where the vessel can carry what I am releasing. That is why this moment is different from all the moments before it. Not because you have become more deserving, because you have become more ready. And my child, readiness is what I was always waiting for. Not your performance, not your perfection, but the specific depth of faith and capacity that only the silent seasons could build. I was not forgotten. I was being prepared. Now let me speak plainly about what heaven has decided concerning you. There is a court that operates above what human eyes can see, a place where the record of your faithfulness is kept, where every tear you have cried in private has been collected, where every prayer you have spoken has been heard and weighed, where the suffering you endured without bitterness has been observed and counted. And in that court, a verdict has been rendered over your life, not in response to what you deserve in human terms. In response to what I have spoken over your life since before you were formed, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, as it is written in Isaiah 54:17. That is not poetry, that is not aspiration, that is a legal declaration, and it has been enforced. The verdict is this: the season of endurance is ending, and the season of fulfillment is beginning. The prayers you whispered when no one was listening have been fully heard and fully answered, not in the way you specified because your specifications were shaped by what you could see, but in the way I designed because my design accounts for what you cannot yet see. The suffering you thought would continue indefinitely has been declared finished. The confusion that followed you through the silent seasons is being lifted. The clarity you have been craving is arriving, not as a feeling first, but as a reality that your feelings will eventually catch up to. What this verdict means in practical terms is that the things you gave up trying to understand are about to be explained. The closed doors that made no sense are about to reveal why they were closed. The relationships that ended, the opportunities that disappeared, the seasons that felt like pure loss, are going to be reframed by what opens next. Because what is opening next was designed to be received by someone who went through exactly what you went through. The delay was not punishment. It was positioning. And the position you are now standing in is the exact position required to walk into what I prepared before the foundation of the world. My child, I am asking you to let that settle, not just to hear it and file it away as something encouraging. Let it settle into the deep places where the doubt has been living, where the question of whether I truly see you has been sitting unanswered. I see you. I have always seen you. And the verdict I have rendered says that what I see in you is worth everything I am about to release into your life. I want to be specific about what this verdict covers, because the enemy would prefer you receive it vaguely, as a general sense that things might improve, rather than as the targeted, precise declaration that it actually is. The verdict covers the relationships you have been waiting on. It covers the provision you have been believing for through seasons of scarcity. It covers the healing that has not yet arrived in the form you recognized. It covers the direction you have been seeking through months of feeling uncertain about which way to move. It covers the specific open door that you have been standing before and watching remain closed longer than made sense. Every area of your life that the waiting has touched is included in what I am releasing. This is not a partial improvement in one dimension, while other dimensions remain unchanged. This is a comprehensive shift in the trajectory of a life that I have been personally involved in from before its first day. And I want to address something you may have felt in the waiting that you have not said to anyone, the fear that you had somehow forfeited the promise, that perhaps the delay had extended long enough that the window had closed, that perhaps your mistakes or your moments of doubt or the times you were less than faithful had disqualified you from what you were once certain was coming. My child, my promises are not revoked by your imperfections. They are not canceled by the times your faith wavered. They are not forfeited by the seasons when you struggled to believe, if that were the standard, no one would ever receive what I promise. My faithfulness is not contingent on yours. My character does not shift when yours does. The verdict stands not because you earned it, but because I spoke it. And what I speak does not return to me empty, as it is written in Isaiah 55:11. It accomplishes what I desire and achieves the purpose for which I sent it. That word was sent for you, and it is still working. Type I was being fortified, not forsaken, my child. Before we go further, I want to speak something directly to you. If this word has already reached into places you have kept very quiet, if something in you has begun to stir while reading, I do not want this to be a passing moment that fades when you close the screen. What I am releasing through this stream is not random content assembled for general encouragement. Every message in this flow is timed. It is prepared for a specific kind of person, in a specific kind of season. And that person is you. Stay connected. Press the subscribe button below, not for a channel, but because what I am releasing in the days ahead is already prepared and waiting, and it will arrive at exactly the moment your spirit needs it most. I do not want you to miss what comes next. The messages are ordered. They build on each other. They form the layers of truth. I am speaking over your life in sequence. Stay close, beloved. Subscribe now and remain in what I am speaking over you. Now I need to tell you something that will explain something you have lived through without fully understanding. When I render a verdict in favor of one of my chosen ones, when the courts of heaven close a case in your favor, the one who opposes your destiny does not simply accept the outcome. He files an appeal, not because he has any real authority to overturn what I have decided. He has none. But because delay and disruption are the only tools available to him once the decision has been made. And understanding this changes the way you interpret what you have been experiencing in the season leading up to this moment. Have you noticed that the resistance seemed to intensify right when things felt closest to changing? That misunderstandings arrived suddenly. That doors that should have opened closed without explanation. That opposition came from directions you did not expect. That the weight of warfare increased at the very moment you were beginning to believe breakthrough was near. My child, this was not coincidence. This was the appeal. When the enemy saw the verdict being sealed in heaven, when he recognized that the trajectory of your life was about to shift in a direction he could not stop, he directed everything available to him at disrupting the transition. Not because he can overturn what I have decided, because he knows that if he can make the breakthrough feel far away in the moment it is actually arriving, many chosen ones will give up within reach of what they have been waiting for. He has no new weapons. He uses the same tools he has always used. Distraction, discouragement, sudden opposition, the feeling that you have been forgotten, the whisper that says the window has closed. These are the weapons of an enemy who has read the verdict and knows he lost, but is making noise in the hope that the noise alone will cause you to retreat. My child, Do not retreat. What looks like intensified resistance is the signal you have been waiting for. It means the verdict is being enacted. It means the shift is close enough that the opposition can sense it. The battlefield before the blessing is still a battlefield, but the outcome is not in question. I have already ruled, and my rulings are not overturned. There is a divine stillness that settles after I have spoken the final word over a situation. Not the stillness of abandonment, but the stillness of a courtroom after the gavel has fallen and the case is closed. The case over your life is closed. The enemy's appeal has been denied. The resistance he is sending is the desperate last movement of a force that has already lost. And the moment you understand it as such, it loses its power to shake you. It becomes information rather than threat, noise rather than authority. And beloved, noise has never overturned one of my decisions. Type Heaven saw what no one else saw in the season I endured in silence. Let me now tell you about something that has been happening around you that you could not see, while your prayers seemed to be returning unanswered, while the silence pressed and the waiting grew heavy. I was active in ways you had no instrument to measure. There are those I assigned to surround my chosen ones, and they are not symbolic or decorative. They are real, and they are present. And they have been working in the space between your prayers and your answers in ways that will only become fully visible to you when you are standing on the other side of what is coming. The car accident that did not happen. The diagnosis that reversed itself before you even knew to be afraid of it. The person who moved out of your life just before they could do the damage they were capable of doing. The opportunity that seemed to close but left something better in the space it cleared. These were not luck. They were not coincidence. They were intervention, quiet and unannounced, operating in the gap between what the enemy intended and what actually reached you. As it is written in Psalm 91:11, He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. That charge is not past tense, it is present and active. You have been kept in ways you did not know required keeping. My child, I want you to sit with the full weight of what I just said. You have not been walking alone through a single day of your life. In the moments that felt the most isolated, in the nights when the silence pressed from every direction, and no human presence could reach the depth of what you were carrying, I was near. And not only was I near, what I assigned to surround you was near. There is a reason the enemy has not been able to finish what he has started against you in every season. There is a reason that the full weight of what was aimed at your life has not landed with the force that was intended. That reason is not luck. That reason is not your own strength, impressive as your endurance has been. That reason is the covering I have kept over you in the unseen, even when you could not feel it and could not see any evidence of its presence. He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways, as Psalm 91:11 declares. This charge is not a general provision offered to all people equally. It is a specific assignment given in response to a specific life that I have specifically marked. And the guarding that has resulted from that charge is more comprehensive than you will ever fully know on this side of eternity. The things that never reached you. The words that were spoken against you in rooms you were not in that never found their mark because something turned them aside before they arrived. The decisions others made that should have affected you and somehow did not. The doors that closed in ways that felt painful at the time but later proved to have closed on something that would have cost you more than what was behind them. The assignments that have been working on your behalf are not limited to protection. There are those dispatched in response to the specific prayers you have prayed, sent to move in the unseen dimensions of the situations you brought before me. When you prayed about the relationship and did not see an answer, something was moving in the unseen space of that person's heart, addressing what your words alone could not reach. When you prayed about the direction and felt no clarity, something was clearing the path ahead of your next step, removing what would have confused or derailed you. The work that happens between your prayer and the visible answer is real work. It takes real time, and it has been happening, my child. You have not been walking alone, not through one day of the seasons you thought were the most solitary of your life. I was near. What I assigned to surround you was near. And now, as the visible answers begin to arrive, you will begin to understand the scope of what was being managed in the unseen on your behalf, the depth of what was being prepared for you, the number of things that had to align in precisely the right sequence before the door could open in the way it was designed to open. You will see it. And when you see it, the silence will finally make complete sense. Type the verdict has been rendered in my favor, and I receive it now. My child, as this word moves through you, I want you to pause and think of someone whose face has just come to mind. It arrived for a reason. There is someone in your life who is still in the season you are stepping out of, still in the silence, still carrying the weight of unanswered prayers, still wondering whether I see them, still interpreting the delay as abandonment. They have not yet heard what you are hearing right now, and I am asking you to think of them with the same faith that is rising in you in this moment. If this message has brought a shift to your spirit, sow a seed so that this word can travel further and reach them too. Visit the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen. This is not a transaction. This is intercession. When you sow in someone else's name, when you stand in faith on behalf of someone who is still in the dark, you are doing what heaven honors above almost anything else. And my child, I do not forget the name of the one who planted in another person's season of waiting. That seed returns. It returns to both of you. What you sow in faith for another, I multiply back to the one who gave. Now let me speak to the ones who dismissed you, the ones who looked at the length of your wait and concluded that it was evidence of my absence from your life, or worse, of something in you that was not worth choosing. The ones who made your faithfulness feel foolish, your patience seem naive, your endurance look like stubbornness rather than strength. I want to speak about them not because vengeance belongs to you, but because truth belongs to you. And the truth about what is happening in their lives as a result of the choices they made deserves to be heard by the one who absorbed the weight of those choices. There is a law I built into the foundation of how I created things to work. It is described in Galatians 6-7 with a clarity that does not allow for misunderstanding. Do not be deceived. I am not mocked. What a man sows, that he will also reap. This law has no exceptions. It does not pause for good intentions or reduce its operation for people who were not fully aware of what they were doing. It works because I built it into the structure of reality itself, and it works whether or not anyone is watching for it. The ones who dismissed you during your silent season, who treated your waiting as failure, who benefited from your faithfulness without honoring it, who spoke against you when you were not there to defend yourself, the harvest of what they planted is already growing. It does not require my intervention to execute, it executes itself. What they will experience is not dramatic destruction delivered from outside. It is the quiet accumulation of the consequences of choices that moved their lives away from what was true and faithful and worth honoring. As Psalm 7:15-16 records, whoever digs a pit and shovels it deep falls into the very trap they made. The trouble they cause recoils on them. This is not a wish I am granting. This is a description of how the structure I built operates when it is set in motion by someone's own choices. And here is what their lives will eventually produce. The recognition that will come when it can no longer be ignored. The moment, quiet or loud, when the understanding arrives that what they dismissed during your waiting season was not an ordinary life in an ordinary delay. It was a chosen one being prepared for something they will eventually witness from a distance that cannot be crossed. By the time that recognition comes, your life will have moved so far forward, so visibly and so undeniably, that the distance will be unmistakable. Not because you sought to place it there, because you kept moving while they stood still, because the table prepared before you in the presence of your enemies, as Psalm 23:5 declares, was never something you had to build. I built it, and I did not build it quietly. My child, you will not need to explain yourself to the ones who doubted you. Your life will do the explaining. Your peace will be louder than their accusations ever were. The favor that is beginning to rest on your life will be impossible to attribute to luck or effort alone. It will be undeniable, and the ones who need to see it will see it. I also want to speak to what will not come with the vindication, because my chosen ones sometimes carry an expectation of how justice should look that leads them to hold on to something they were meant to release. The vindication that is coming does not require bitterness to operate. It does not need the fuel of your resentment to arrive. It is not served by the hours you have spent rehearsing what you would say to the people who doubted you when they finally have to acknowledge they were wrong. My child, release that rehearsal. Not because those people do not owe you an acknowledgement. Some of them do. but because every hour you spend holding the case of their wrongs in your own hands is an hour you are not spending walking toward the open door. Romans 12:19 is clear. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. I will repay. The reason I hold that weight is not because the repayment will not happen. It is because the repayment handled by me is complete and precise in ways your version could never be. And more importantly, the carrying of it delays you. You were not built to carry what I was built to hold. Hand it to me and walk forward. The table prepared before you, in the presence of your enemies, does not require you to set it. I have already set it. Your role is simply to sit down. Type, I release every word spoken against me in the long season of my waiting. Now I want to speak about the door, because what I am releasing into your life in this season is not abstract or symbolic. There is a specific opening that has been prepared for your specific life, timed for exactly this moment. And it is real. As it is written in Revelation 3:8, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. Not one person, not one circumstance, not one scheme of the enemy, no matter how carefully constructed. This door was ordained before time began, and it has been held exactly as I designed it for exactly this moment in your story. I do not want you to receive this as vague encouragement. I want you to receive it as a specific announcement. Something is opening in your life that was not open before. It may not arrive with fanfare. It may look like a conversation that takes an unexpected turn, a thought that arrives with unusual clarity, an encounter that does not fit the pattern of what you have been experiencing, a provision that cannot be explained by your current circumstances alone. When it arrives, your spirit will recognize it before your mind has finished processing it. That recognition is the confirmation. What you feel is the fingerprint of what I designed specifically for you. The preparation you have been going through, all of it, every layer of it, the stripping away and the refining and the clarifying and the deepening, was not preparation for a general improvement in your circumstances. It was preparation for this specific door. The version of you that existed before the silent seasons would not have been ready to walk through it without losing what was behind it. The you that is standing here now, having endured what you endured without walking away from me, without allowing bitterness to calcify your heart, without surrendering your faith in what you could not see, this version of you is ready. The door and the person walking through it have been prepared for each other. Isaiah 40:31 declares that those who hope in me shall renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint, my child. The soaring that was promised in that scripture is not a future metaphor. For the one who has held on through the silence and is standing in this moment of appointed time, it has already begun. The wings forming under you are real. The upward movement is real. And the door standing open in front of you is real. Walk toward it. Type, I feel, the door opening now, and no human hand can close what heaven has opened. My child, before the prayer that will seal what I have spoken today, I want to talk to you about the daily life that comes after a verdict. Because a ruling from heaven does not simply change your circumstances overnight while you remain unchanged. It changes your circumstances through the changes it produces in how you walk, how you think, how you pray, and how you respond to what surrounds you. The door is open, but walking through a door requires movement. And movement in the season of fulfillment looks different from movement in the season of waiting. Begin each morning as someone who knows the verdict, not someone who is hoping it might be true or waiting for more evidence before committing to the belief. Someone who knows. Before the day makes its demands, before the noise of what surrounds you begins, bring me the morning. Not as obligation, as the most natural thing you do. Say what is true before you encounter what feels true. The Lord goes before me. The case is closed. The door is open. I walk in what heaven has already approved. These are not empty words. They are the sound of a person who has heard the verdict and chosen to walk in agreement with it. Guard what you allow into your atmosphere. Your home is not just a building, it is territory. And in this season it is territory that I have marked as under my covering. Let the choices you make within it reflect that. Let the voices you invite in be voices that agree with what I have spoken over your life. Not voices that water down the verdict with doubt, or reintroduce the fear the silent seasons produced. Surround yourself with what builds. Protect your proximity to what drains. This is not pride. This is stewardship of the season. Pray differently now, not from desperation, not from the posture of someone unsure whether they are heard. From alignment, from the position of someone who knows who they are speaking to and is certain they are heard. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, as Proverbs 3:5-6 instructs, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. The paths are being made straight. Your role is to walk them with the trust that matches the verdict. Not performance, not perfection, simply trust. That is the posture that keeps the door open and keeps the enemy's appeal from finding any foothold. Rest with intention. The season you are entering is not the season of striving, it is the season of receiving, and receiving requires a degree of stillness that striving constantly prevents. Let your rest be real. Let your body and spirit receive what I pour in when you are still. The vessel that is always in motion cannot be filled. The one who knows when to be still makes room for what heaven sends. Pay attention to what you sense in this season more than what you see, because the door I am opening will often register in your spirit before it is fully visible to your eyes. You will feel a pull toward a particular direction before you can explain why. You will sense a check against something that looks good on the surface, but is not aligned with what I am bringing. You will notice a peace settling around certain choices that your logic has not yet caught up to, and a disquiet around others that seems disproportionate to the circumstances. These are not coincidences. These are the instruments I use to navigate my chosen ones through transitions. Honor them. The discernment that has been sharpening in you through the silent seasons is one of the most valuable things the waiting produced. And this is the season it will earn its fullest expression. Do not override it with what looks reasonable. Do not silence it to accommodate others. Trust what I have placed in you to recognize what I am sending to you. The door and the discernment to walk through it have been prepared together. Use them together. Type I walk through what heaven has opened, and I will not look back at what I am leaving behind. Father, I come before you now on behalf of the one who has received this word, and I bring them to you exactly as they are in this moment, with whatever weight still remains, with whatever doubt has not yet fully dissolved, with whatever questions are still circling. I bring them to you not when they are polished or resolved or confident, but right now as they are, because that is when you meet us. That is always when you meet us. I ask you to do what only you can do in the places where the verdict has not yet landed in full. Speak into the deep places where the lie of abandonment has been living. Let your truth go further than encouragement reaches. Let it settle into the foundation where identity is formed and unmovable. Cleanse every wound that interpreted your silence as rejection. Replace every false conclusion with the true one. You were never absent. You were never unaware. You were preparing what could not be rushed. Release the fullness of what you have decided over this life. Let every promise that has been held in heaven's storehouses begin its movement toward the one who has been faithful in the waiting. Let the door you have opened become unmistakably visible. Let the path forward be lit with a clarity that removes every remaining confusion. Silence the enemy's appeal. Let every scheme designed to delay what you have decided lose its purchase and fall away. Surround this life with what it needs to carry the weight of what is coming. Align every relationship, every resource, every door, to the plan you wrote before the foundation of the world. I ask for angelic reinforcement around every home represented in this prayer. Let the ones you assign be active, present, and working in the unseen dimensions of every situation that is still in process. Let no weapon that has been formed find its target. Let no plan of the adversary reach completion against what you have declared finished. Let the peace that surpasses understanding, as Philippians 4:7 records, guard the heart and mind of the one standing at the threshold of what you are releasing. Let them feel it settle before the visible evidence arrives. Let peace be the first confirmation. Let it come now, in the name of the one who holds every verdict and every promise. Amen. Type I receive what heaven has prepared, and I will not talk myself out of it. If this message reached into a place that has been quiet for a long time, do not hold it to yourself. There is someone in your life who is still in the silence you are stepping out of. They need to hear what you just heard. They need to know that the silence is not abandonment, that the verdict has been rendered, that the door is already open. Send this to them. You do not need to explain it. Let me speak to them the way I have spoken to you. If you have stayed to the end of this message, something in you recognized what was being spoken today. Perhaps something settled that has been unsteady for longer than you want to name. Perhaps the weight of the silence finally found an explanation that reached deep enough to be believed. Perhaps the verdict landed in a place that has been waiting to receive it. Honor what just moved in your spirit with an act of faith. Sow a seed into what carried this word to you. Visit the link in the description below or scan the QR code on your screen, not as a transaction, not because a platform needs your support. As a declaration between you and the God who just spoke over your life, your seed says, I believe the verdict is real. I receive what heaven has approved for me. I trust the one who rendered it to bring every word of it to pass, and I am ready to walk through the door. God does not miscalculate the return on a seed sown in genuine faith. He has never miscalculated once. He will not begin now. Amen, my child, the case is closed. The appeal was denied. The door is open. The angels are in position. The silence is over. What comes next in your life was decided before you were born and has been moving toward this moment through every season you endured, including the ones that made no sense while you were inside them. Walk forward, not in anxiety, not in the striving that the waiting season trained into your habits. In the quiet, steady confidence of someone who has heard the verdict and believes it. Because you have, and it is real, and it changes everything. You were not preserved through the fire to remain where the fire found you. You were preserved to walk into what the fire was preparing you for. This is that moment. This is the day the trajectory changes. This is what I spoke over you before you were born, arriving exactly on time, exactly as I designed it, for exactly the person you have become through everything you survived. My child, walk forward. Heaven is watching, and heaven is with you.